Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 180 of the Run in the Paint podcast. I'm Miles here with Nick, Ben, and Joey. Guys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great. Happy to have the full squad back here.
Yes, sir. Good to see you guys. What's up, fellas? Full squad in action. Let's go.
Feeling good, Nick. We missed you on the trade deadline one last week. You feeling better?
Yes, feeling much better. Thank you.
That is great to hear. Glad to have the full squad back. We got a lot of things to talk about here today. Of course, today, as this is coming out, is going to be the start of All-Star Weekend festivities in Los Angeles. A week ago was the NBA trade deadline, and some of the big names that were on the move played a few games with their new team, so we'll give our initial reactions on that. And then we also had a fight that we need to talk about throughout the league from back on Monday night. So lots of fun here today. But to start off, as always, we've got POELTL. To start things off, we're going to go with Ousmane Dieng, who had a big-time revenge game against the Oklahoma City Thunder last night.
What was his line? 19, 11, 6, and 4?
Yes, 4 blocks. All right, so this dude is going to be in the Western Conference, and he's super young guy.
Dylan Harper was a freshman when he got drafted. The height is obviously lower than 6'9", and the number, I'm pretty sure he's a single digit.
Yep, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's an all-star participant.
Let's go with it. Oh, close. All right.
Yeah.
West guard 6'4" or 6'3". That wears the number 3 or the number 4.
So in between 19 and 22.
Let's see. He's been in the league for a few years now. How old is Keontae George?
I think he's a second or third year player.
Yeah, I think third-year player, so I'm not sure if he'd be 22 already yet.
He's around 6'5", though, himself, I think. He might be 6'4".
He might be 21.
What do we think? Are there any other names we could go to here?
He would be number 5 or number 4?
Number 3.
Oh, okay. I like that guess.
Let's try it out, man.
Try
Keontae George. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
So close. Number 3.
6'3".
On a Northwest team. So Denver, number 3 is Julian Strawther. He's taller. OKC's number 3. Oh, brother. It's a young guy. Who else is Minnesota?
Brooks Barnhizer.
Yeah, that's one of them. I don't remember. He's number 23.
Topic. Made his NBA debut tonight.
Yes, he did.
He's
like number 44.
Yeah. This might be, what's his name? Chris Youngblood? I want to say he's number 3 on their team. Let's try it.
He's a second or third year player. Oh, no.
Oh, he is number 3 on OKC, but it is not correct. Wait, oh, no, we did get him.
Oh, we did?
Wait, hold on. I'm so confused.
How is he number 3 on OKC?
He did it.
But it's also not right.
What?
POELTL, it would appear POELTL is bugging today. I'm going to say we got it.
Well, look up OKC's roster real quick.
Well, he's number 3 on OKC. It says we got both of those right, so that should automatically be.
Well, I'm trying to see if maybe he was maybe he became inactive off of a 2-way or a 10-day, and they have another guy who's active right now who's number 3, who this player is.
Oh, that's why. Because this
maybe
player, this is why it's wrong. So we did not get
because
we had to look it up. This is not incorrect.
Thunder. I just thought about that.
Oh, I was about to say with these trades that it was going to be a little difficult, but
either way though, POELTL, you bugged because we got number 3 on OKC.
Yeah, you got Youngblood out of thin air.
I'm proud of myself on that one. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Is he not on their team now? Like, I'm trying to figure out what the deal is. Why he
if he's
wasn't
still in
corrected.
POELTL, What do you do?
Yeah, he shouldn't be in there.
Interesting. He might have gotten released. Yeah, he just got waived 6 days ago. So that's the deal with that.
So they have Jared
So-
McCain trade, which happened more recently than 6 days ago, but they don't have Youngblood out of the game.
Hey, interesting. So now forever, Chris Youngblood will be remembered on the Run of the Paint podcast.
Gotta love it.
So yeah, all right, Jared McCain in 5. Is that the first one? I don't know how to feel about that one now because I feel like POELTL may have gypped us.
POELTL was bugging.
Well, it was off of a trade too. It's trade deadline week. I mean, I literally thought about that when we were guessing Keontae. I'm like, well, it's gonna be interesting because these guys have different numbers on their new teams, and sure enough,
We'll let it slide this time, POELTL. But anyways, let's talk about the NBA trade deadline. Of course, last Thursday was the deadline, and a whole lot of different players were moved, including some big names to new places. But again, we talked about it when it happened. Some of the players really not expected to make their debuts with their teams this season, maybe more so next year thing in the cases of an Anthony Davis or Ivica Zubac. But we did have some guys that are on some good teams making their debut. So let's start with the Beard. James Harden has made his debut for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's been 3 games. So far, the Cavs have won all 3 games, and it has looked really, really solid so far. Nick, since you weren't here to talk about your initial thoughts on this trade, I guess go into what your thoughts were on the trade and how that's compared to what you've been seeing on the floor.
well, man, it happened fast. Like you guys said in the last episode, we got off and they started talking about it, and then the next day it happened. And initially, it was like, "Dang, Darius Garland's gone. That's core 4." And Ben's reaction was like, I totally agree with it. When you guys talked about it on here, I was like, I don't know if messing with the chemistry right now is a good thing because, like, James Harden, sure, he can get guys involved and do the stuff he's doing right now, throwing back behind the back cut passes. Holy crap, dude. Like, that was awesome. But I had concerns while I was listening to Ben talk, like, Mobley and Allen can get swallowed up from time to time against bigger bigs. And, like, if they become invisible against, like that could take a whole thing away with Harden and coming in. But the more I think about it, it's like, well, you're dealing with the same issues with Darius, and at the end of the day, it's an upgrade. So at the end of the day, I think it's an upgrade, and I think it makes them more competitive and more of a threat come the playoff time.
Yeah, and so far, Joey, first, it still is crazy to see him in a Cavs uniform. Like, I still can't believe it. But 3 games in, I mean, the way that he's been able to fit in without a single practice, really only film sessions, and the wins. Now, of course, they beat the Kings in his first game, and then the Wizards on a Wednesday night. But in the middle there, a huge win at Denver, come from behind win. And in those 2 clutch wins against the Kings and the Nuggets, James Harden played a key role in the fourth quarter, knocking down some clutch shots. But really across the board, Joey, I mean, it feels like everyone in that starting 5 for the Cavs right now since the trade, it's been looking really good together. And of course, we've also seen, Schroeder and Ellis get involved more off the bench.
Yeah, I've been loving. I was with Ben, and what you were saying, Nick, is like the chemistry. I was very worrisome about it, but it's very difficult to join a team when you're on a West Coast trip and you literally have maybe a day before you have to play your first home game, and which is what he had. And they've looked like you said, they've looked fantastic. He's been very clutch, hitting some clutch threes, getting people involved, showing off the flashy assists. I've been thoroughly thrilled with Harden and the way, like you said, Schroeder and Ellis as well off the bench. Exactly what I was hoping they'd bring, which was energy and defense off the bench, which is what we desperately needed. And I've been loving it. I think with the way that, again, I know we're Cavs fans, but I think we might be favorites in the East now, especially with the way the Knicks have been on hot and cold all season, and you don't really know what you're going to get. And I don't know. I like the Pistons, but JB kind of, I don't know. I don't think he can get it done in the playoffs. He certainly couldn't get it done here.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens when it comes to that. But Ben, so far, Harden's numbers the first 3 games, He had 23 points and 8 assists at Sacramento. Against Denver, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, including that monster step back three to tie the game in the final minute there. And then in this game against the Wizards, 13 points and 11 assists, only took 4 shots, 1 for 4 from the field. The foul baiting is finally on our side, so I love watching it. He was 10 for 12 at the free throw line. But really, Ben, he's been doing everything. He's been doing everything so far for this Cleveland team. What has been the most impressive thing to you about the way that Harden has fit in and made his teammates better?
Yeah, I have been impressed with like his chemistry that he's had with guys in this team already so far coming in. I mean, he's proven me wrong so far with that from my initial reaction I had last week on here. But uh, like think with the Cavs, if they could prove me wrong in the good way or something, I'll take it, and I'm quite happy about the start that we're having with James Harden. Like, yeah, as you guys said, he's getting a lot of assists already to our guys, and he hits the big clutch shots and Kings and Nuggets games, which I was thrilled about. That step back free was awesome. The Denver game, that was a big time shot in that one. And Donovan Mitchell and Atkinson, they were quite confident about this move before he started playing games for us Harden, but so far their confidence seems to be paying off. He's working out great here so far. And since we've got a James Harden to serve him in the lineup, along Schroeder and Keon Ellis, who of course we acquired too to trade deadline, the Kansas just seemed like they've been playing their best basketball of the year in these last few games, and I'm thrilled. Like, this team could totally be able to compete in the East and possibly make the finals. Like, I'm thinking this for the first time I have this season with what I've been seeing.
That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Ben.
Yeah, and it's super fun too because they were starting to get back on track even before the trade, but it seems to have brought a whole new energy to this team and this locker room now that this juice has come in. Like the premature things about Harden coming into this team, like the trepidations, which are understandable about the chemistry because Garland is such a huge locker room piece and things like that. They're understandable, but James Harden, like he's one of the smartest players to ever play the game, one of the best playmakers to come in. And he's one of those guys that has been proven to be able to fit in with anywhere, any type of system, with any type of player, and work super well. So honestly, I'm not really super surprised that it's gone this well to start just because of who it is. Now, the questions will come in the playoffs when he does have a bit of a stinker game because it's bound to happen at some point. But I think you take the good and the bad with this situation. And part of the things that have been really good, Nick, is, of course, the way that Donovan Mitchell has played. He's been playing this way all season long. But we got to talk about Jared Allen and the way that he has stepped up for this Cleveland team recently. Of course, Harden there to help give him the ball more has been, very helpful. But he has just been a complete monster over the last month or so, which has been very needed for this Cavs team with the Mobley injury.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time you check the box score, it's like Allen is either 90 or 100% from the field, and he's got his average up to like I would want to say 25 over the last like 8 game stretch or so. I mean, he's been really doing a lot. I mean, it might be a little generous, but he's definitely
Well, so
averaging.
the last 5 games, averaging 24 points, 12 rebounds on 74% shooting from the field. Like it is monstrous.
And that's huge for the Cavs when Mobley is out because they aren't a huge team behind those two guys. I mean, Nance plays some backup big minutes and Thomas Bryant, but behind them two, you really don't have another guy other than like Dean Wade, who's I think close to 7 feet. Tomlin is like 6'9". They have a really good roster, but it's not huge. Like that's what I was gonna say when we were talking about them earlier. Like this team has a really good roster. Um, And if they have the best offense in the league from a year ago and you're adding James Harden to it, it's like, yeah, that's pretty threatening come playoff time. it's going to be the enforcer question it's been all year with the team, that can Mobley and Allen get it done against difficult matchups?
Yeah, what do we think about this team when Evan Mobley comes back, Joey? Because obviously, in theory, he makes this team a lot better. But the way they've been going since the trade is they've been, well, Nick, like you said, because the roster is, a smaller roster, it's more guard heavy. They've been playing some small lineups, throughout these games. Like they've been playing Merrill at the 3, Tyson at the 4. Shout out to Sam Merrill for the heater he had against the Wizards. That was awesome.
9 threes.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, overall, they've been playing very, very small. So how do you think that the team could look different when Mobley comes back with, a new facilitator to lead the way and lead the offense?
I hope it's very similar. I do like especially with our roster constructed that way. I do kind of like the small ball lineup, and it worked in certain cases, obviously, but it worked out very well against the Wizards, who were without Alex Sarr. That was the big one. But I don't know. I hope they'll probably start Mobley and Allen still together. I would think they would still obviously have the same starting lineup with probably Tyson, Harden, Mitchell, Mobley, and Allen. And then off the bench, you got Sammy Merrill, Dean Wade, Schroeder, Ellis. That's a pretty good bench. But at that point, once you get those guys, hopefully Kenny likes his rotation and keeps to it, where he just staggers Mobley and Allen. Because if you have one of them in at a time with either Mitchell or Harden, you're going to get the most out of those bigs. But if they're playing together, it's like, yeah, it's really good, like defensively, which is what's going to help us a lot, I think. But throughout the game, we're going to need their offensive capabilities, and you really just got to stagger them at that point.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I mean, if there's been anything to harp on with the way that they've played the last 3 games, because they've been playing smaller, the offensive rebounding the defensive rebounding, I should say, has been a little bit more of a problem in certain stretches. But then they're able to turn it on in different moments as well. So I think Mobley does help with that. I'm just excited to see what happens with this team because, like you guys are kind of saying here, I mean, again, the Eastern Conference has been so wide open the entire season, and it's hard to really get a grasp on who you think could be the favorite. I mean, the Pistons this regular season continue to just get impressive victory after impressive victory. It really is incredible. And they're 40-13 right now. I mean, my goodness. So now this is crazy. Since OKC lost their game to Milwaukee at the All-Star break, Detroit has a better winning percentage. So right now, the Detroit Pistons have the best record in the entire NBA. So they've been playing, I just can't believe that we're even saying that at the All-Star break.
That's a crazy statement just in itself.
Yeah, I wonder the last time this has happened. Like if they were a number 1 seed any of those years when they had Billups, the Wallaces, Tayshaun Prince, those Rip Hamilton, those guys. But when you look at the Eastern Conference, the way I kind of look at it is all of these teams at the top, they can be championship contenders. All of them have their weaknesses when you take a look at it. Like the Pistons, the 3-point shooting is a weakness, and obviously the playoff experience. Boston, they've had an incredible year, but of course they have role players that haven't really proved it in the playoffs yet, young guys that are playing a lot of minutes for them. And of course they're missing Jason Tatum. I don't know how many scenarios you have where you're missing your best player, your superstar player, and then you can still go on a deep playoff run. New York, so up and down. The pick and roll defense is something to be concerned with. Cleveland, it's the mental fortitude with the bigs and across the board to get the job done. It's just which of those teams is going to be able to overcome those weaknesses when it matters most. That's going to be the team to get over the hump and win it. But right now, you go with, in that sense, where all these teams have their own weaknesses, you would have to put your bet on, I think, the most complete team. And at this point, I think the most complete team in the East is the Cleveland Cavaliers right now.
I would agree.
So
Obviously,
excited to see
when Mobley gets there, but like I said, I at least what they've shown me recently with this new trade, the new energy heading into the All-Star break, which always is nice to get some rest, come back. Oh, I like our chances.
Yeah, definitely excited to see how they look when Mobley comes back post All-Star break. But let's move over to the opposite conference for another big trade deadline acquisition, and that was Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Utah Jazz. Nick, this was a trade that came a little bit out of nowhere here. What was your reaction when you saw the news?
Yeah, honestly, it makes the Jazz a lot more intimidating because they can run a really, really big lineup out there with Nurk, Laurie as a 7-footer, and Jaren Jackson. That's three guys who play both ends and can stretch the floor on both ends. I mean, I was a big fan of the Anthony Davis to Washington trade because of the fact that you put two stretch bigs who are rim protectors out there together. And it feels like Utah has three of those guys. And to pair with Keontae George, and really you could plug anybody in there to stretch the floor. You don't even have to play that much defense, the last guy, because Keontae George is taken off. And those three out there with Keontae George it's a really intimidating lineup, like I said.
Yeah, and so far it has been pretty intimidating for the Utah Jazz. They've looked really good when those guys have been on the floor together. Jaren Jackson played in 3 games, 22
When they
points.
they don't keep him out there though. They take him off the floor.
That's what we got to go to next. This is a perfect time to talk about the tanking problem that's going on around the NBA. We've been mentioning in little sprinkles throughout the season how it could have the potential to become a problem, and we're heading into the All-Star break, and the Utah Jazz are probably the #1 example for how things could go badly. As in Jaren Jackson's first game with the Jazz, it was at Orlando against the Magic, and they played really well. They were up by 15 heading into the fourth quarter, right around that mark, and Will Hardy sits Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler for the entire fourth quarter. They blow that game. They do the same thing in Miami, sitting those guys. They end up winning because Bryce Sensabaugh made a 3. But Joey, the tanking thing, this is one of those gray areas in the league. But it's really tough to see. I mean, you could what side are you kind of on about this? Are you on the side where it's kind of bad, or are you on the side of they're still playing their guys 3 quarters, so at least they're still playing?
I was going to say, at least they're still playing them, but it's such a bad look when you take them out. You take your best players out right at the start of the fourth when you're winning, and you blow it, or you almost blow it. Like, it just came out that they got fined $500,000 for that, and the Pacers got $100,000 fine for sitting Pascal Siakam out. But again, I don't know if this is just the preliminary fines, but this could get out of hand really, really, really quickly, and those fines are going to have to start getting stiffer, because what's $500,000 to $1 billion organization? Like, that's possibly going to get another top guy and then next year compete and make all their money back. Like, it's not much of an incentive. Oh, no, a fine. It's much worse for fines for like individual players when they do something bad. But to these organizations and stuff, you got to start taking picks away, I think, at some point. I would say, depending on your position, but like, hey, if the Jazz continue to do it and just keep collecting the fines, at some point, hey, next time we're taking away a second-round pick. All right, next time your first-round pick is going to be behind the lottery. Like, you will not get a lottery pick. Like, you'll still keep your first-round pick, but you are automatically outside of the first or out of the lottery, so you can protect it. Because they tried doing the protecting from the tanking with the way the draft lottery goes, and that the top picks get the same equal chance, but one of the 3 top worst teams, all these bad teams have the same records. Like, it's not that much of a difference. You got to stop these teams.
Yeah, Ben, what's your stance on the whole tanking situation at this point as we head into All-Star break?
Yeah, it's a complicated situation, I think. I guess this is all right of the NBA to find the Jazz and the Pacers how they did. That was odd, but I mean, what can the NBA totally do with these teams? Like Joey said, even if they find them for that much money, because they make so much, like a ton of money as organizations, and like yeah, I mean, I get that the Jazz and the Pacers, hope that they just end up being there because they want a good chance at one of those top picks, which I don't blame them for, you know, wanting to overall not have a great team and, get one of the top picks in the draft because obviously, as we've said before, that it could change their franchise as one of the top picks. And yeah, I do wish they still could have played their guys at least some more in the fourth quarter. Those games, the Jazz. So I get it, and I, not the biggest fan really of seeing players sit out for taking. Like to be a bit more competitive, but I understand why the teams are trying to tank and that be great teams because it could lead to big things potentially for the future.
Yeah, Nick, it's such a tough situation because these teams are doing, you would think, are doing kind of the right thing by their organization, giving themselves the best chance to get their franchise altering player. But from an NBA's perspective, and this is kind of what I'm seeing here, we're now at the All-Star break, which means we are officially 2/3 of the way through the seasons. We have another third of the season left to go, and a third of the league is tanking already. When you take a look at how things are in each conference, it looks like the top 10 in each conference are kind of set. And although on the 5 lottery teams in each conference are already tanking, Grizzlies, Mavs, Jazz, Kings, the Pelicans are just bad. But the Kings on a 14-game losing streak. We see the same thing in the East with the Wizards, Pacers, Nets, the Bulls with all the trades they did. We'll see what the Bucks end up doing. But you have a third of the league that's now outwardly looking to lose games with a third of the way to go.
Yeah. First of all, I have to check my audio. Is my audio all right? Because it's kind of splotchy. Is it good?
It sounds different, but we'll run through it.
I know. Yeah, it was messed up. I'm going to have to try and find a fix if it's not good.
It actually sounds fine now.
Okay, so the lottery situation is tough, but it can be very simplified. It can be simplified. Just pick a date where wins start counting towards your odds. So, like at this certain date, the best record gets the 1 seed. At this certain date, the best record from here on out, they get the best odds, and then the second best team gets the second best odds, and the third best team gets the third best odds, and then pull them that way. That's how you do it. Or take picks away.
Yeah, that's the only theory. I've seen that theory before. That's the only one that I think actually could make sense. It's just figuring out when you would do it and how you would regulate which teams are included in that at what point of the season. Like, would you say like at March 1st, if you have a winning percentage below 500, I guess, if you're a below 500 team, then your loss or your wins start to count towards your potential draft chances. Like, they'd have to figure out the best way to do it because you'd be doing it in reverse for the last third of the season.
But it's still like if you were a contending team who was under 500 and you still had a chance to get in the playoff, like your wins would still count as wins to get in the playoffs still. So it's not like they would count against you the opposite way. It's not like you're reversing that aspect of it. You're just counting it differently for the other way.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a great idea. I'd be interested to see how it would look. Joey, what do you think about the potential of that being the remedy for this tanking problem in the league?
It's probably the best band-aid fix, I would say. I'm the only thing that's going through my head is, man, how much I love watching my European soccer. Man, relegation is the most beautiful thing. Like,
Can't
you're
do that in the
telling me to
NBA.
bring the Seattle Supersonics back, have them sign a bunch of like international or G League guys, and whoever's the worst team in the NBA gets relegated to the G League and bring the Supersonics back. I'm telling, just bring that. That would be great because teams will lose so much money just by going down a league. Like, I know it's definitely not going to work in American sports because you're the worst team, you automatically get the best player. That's just how it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's
Well,
not great. The regular season matters so much more when you're in like those kind of games with like relegation because you don't want to go down. You don't want to lose all that money.
if the Thunder keep their 13 or whatever draft picks they have over the next 2 years, no, 7 years or whatever it is, their G League team could be as good as the Pelicans. Like, why don't we relegate New Orleans and bring up the Oklahoma City, whatever their G League team is?
Great. It would be great. It would matter again.
Well, see, the thing is, like, I don't think that the idea of tanking is necessarily wrong. Like, again,
Right, it's the way it's set up.
It's the way it's set up and the fact that on any given night, from like an entertainment perspective, every given night you can cross off 2 or 3 games that, like, all right, these won't be interesting because one team is just going to punt it, and I think that is where it's a bigger problem for the league from an entertainment value and claiming that the regular season matters. But if a third of the league doesn't care because they're trying to tank for draft odds, and then like some experienced teams don't care about seeding because for the play, like it just sends a bad message across the board entertainment wise. So I think that's what the league needs to try to fix. I think the best way would be if you counted your wins towards your draft chances at a certain point of the season. Maybe you start March 1st and then go through there.
Yeah, that's probably the best fix. I love the way they do the sports over there, man. I'm telling you, it's so much more fun to watch.
But Joe, you'd want to see your Sacramento Kings, removed from the NBA?
If they don't try, if they're gonna play that bad, if they're gonna keep signing terrible players that all play the same position and don't play defense, then yeah, you're running a terrible team. You should get punished for it.
The Kings probably would have gotten relegated a lot
20 years ago, probably.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah,
Rams could have got relegated during their own 16 season NFL.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, so hopefully there's some sort of remedy to fix this. I don't know if they'll be able to figure one out that they can implement in this season because that would be weird to just change it midway. But I hope they're able to make a change to this because it also affects the standings at the top too. Because if you're a team like,
exactly,
let's just say if you're a team like the Spurs or in the Eastern Conference where it's such a close, tight battle between 2 and 4 right now. If the Celtics get to play all the lottery teams and the Knicks have to still play against the Thunders, the Spurs, then it completely ruins the whole, point of the schedule. So, I'm excited to see if the league ends up coming up with anything or, things like that. But anyways,
can we get Adam Silver on the pod?
That would be lovely. That would be lovely.
You got that connection too, Miles?
Yeah, let's see. Some other big trade deadline debuts that could have a big impact this season. Nick Vucevic played for the Celtics for the first time, played his first few games there for Boston. I believe has come off the bench for all 3 games, which talking during our reaction said that could be a possibility to fit their team. So far he's looked pretty good in the Boston offense. Kind of fits pretty well. Joey, what have you seen from him with Boston so far?
Kind of exactly what I kind of expected. He kind of fits that Al Horford role. But I agree with what you said when you did when we did the podcast and you said he was going to come off the bench. It's been working out really well, and that was a very good idea. But I had a feeling this would be a really smooth transition into like just help them win because basically the same guy Al Horford was when he was there.
Now, the question, Nick, that's been going around and that we've kind of been talking about all season long is, does this acquisition of Nick Vucevic mean that a guy like Jason Tatum should consider returning this season for them to try to make a title run in the Open Eastern Conference? Does this change anything now that they have an established guy there on their team at the center position?
I don't think so, because I mean the most important thing for that is how he feels and whether or not it's good to go. So to that question, I don't think so. But overall, yeah, it definitely would make me think about it more if I was him, because they were really good before, and now you just pretty much swapped. It ended up being Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons for Nick Vucevic. So I kind of thought that he was, Al Horford sounds about right. I think he is in between that and what KP was able to do for them, which brought him a title. So he's a huge stretch, big threat that is now coming off the bench of a top 3 team in the East. So, yeah, I would think about it.
Yeah, we'll definitely see here. Some other brief talking about the debuts on new teams. Cam Thomas for the Bucks had a big game against the Magic at 34 points on the road to get them the win. And then after the game, Doc Rivers said, "I've coached Jamal Crawford, coached Lou Williams, and now I'm coaching Cam Thomas." So we'll see what comes from that. Honestly, I'm not mad at the quote.
That's a wild comparison, though.
You think so?
Two of the best six, like those two guys, Lou Will and Jamal, should have been starters anywhere else. But the fact that they were the best sixth men of their generation, Cam Thomas isn't close yet. He has the potential to be like that, but that's crazy to say right now after like 1 or 2 games off the bench. For
I would agree that's a rough quote.
Well, I'll agree that that's a rough quote after one great game, but I think that's what.
No, he's legit.
But I think that's what he could end up being because the dude's a bucket. We've seen the last 2 years what he can do. He puts up 23, 24 points a game, solid efficiency for the type of shots he has to put up. Like I honestly don't think it's that crazy. I think it might be crazy if this stint doesn't work out this season, but I mean, in theory, this should be the 2020s version of a Jamal Crawford or Lou Williams as far as the 6-man prototype that can come off and get a whole lot of buckets. Not
2020s version.
Yeah,
2020s version as in inflated scoring and no defense.
Yeah. And that's kind of, when you think about it, isn't that kind of what you could say Lou Williams was?
Yeah, but not Crawford.
Well, Crawford was bigger, but he was a little bigger, but same sort of thing. He's out there to shoot the ball.
Yes. But those dudes gave, I would say, a lot of effort on the defensive end.
And I don't think
that's why I said it's a rough quote. But
I mean, I think they're very similar players. I think they're very similar players. And Cam Thomas has not been in a situation where playing defense was the most prioritized. I will say, being on the Nets the entire time. So who knows if he's in a good situation, what that could end up looking like. We also saw the New York Knicks made a couple of nice acquisitions, getting Jose Alvarado last week, and then recently picking up Jeremy Sohan in the buyout market. And Jose Alvarado just had a big time game from 3-point land when they blew out the Sixers by nearly like 50 points. But Ben, what are your thoughts on the Jose Alvarado, what he's brought to their team since then, and then the signing of Jeremy Sohan?
Well, I definitely really like the Jose Alvarado thing. Yeah, impressive game for him on offense of the 76ers. Gave it a dominant Knicks win in that one. And Jose Alvarado's looking like Grand Theft Alvarado. He's coming back to playing with some really good energy now that he's on a great team, a team that's, winning, looking to compete again. It's been fun to watch. I'm happy for Jose. He landed at a good spot in his hometown team, too. And he looks thrilled about it. And Jeremy Sohan, I like that pickup. I think He's a good bench, stretchy, athletic forward that could help them. He can play some pretty good defense, so helps them get a bit more better on that end, which helps. And offensively, he's all right, but obviously not really the best there. Work on making his shooting better still, but I mean, if you're trying to compete with the Cavs, if you're the Knicks, the Cavs have really good depth. It's not a bad signing. Just adding another good depth guy who could provide some good tough defense there by the Knicks.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's get into, before we get into our All-Star weekend predictions, let's talk about the fight that happened on Monday night down in Charlotte where the Pistons and the Hornets got into it. Now, going into the game, this is going to be a great game. The number 1 seed Pistons against the Hornets, going for their 10th win in a row. Would have been the first time since I think like 2001 or 2002 that they had gone on a 10-game winning streak. So the energy was great in Charlotte. It felt like a playoff atmosphere. And in the third quarter, things got very, very chippy. Jalen Duren, Musa Diabate get into it. Punches are thrown. Miles Bridges gets involved. And then, of course, because the Pistons are involved, Isaiah Stewart runs in off the bench, using a few haymakers himself. Suspensions came out a couple days ago. Not mistaken, Isaiah Stewart got 7 games. Jalen Duren got 2, and then Diabate and Bridges each got 4 games from that whole brouhaha in Charlotte. So, Joey, this was wild. This was wild. I mean, this is one of the this is the first like legit NBA fight that I've really seen. Like, the first thing I thought of was like, dude, this is the craziest thing since like the Malice at the Palace. 2 fights in 2 separate places on the court. Like, what is going on?
This is what Detroit basketball is all about, and I love it. I love it. The fighting is obviously fantastic, but it's just the passion that these guys are showing for it. I love it, but well-deserved fines for our suspension for Isaiah Stewart. They're getting just jumping off the bench and just starting to fight everybody. I loved it. But it was absolutely craziness. I need some more teams to like have that much intensity about winning. Maybe not a full-on brawl every night, but like maybe once a month we could have a brawl.
Yeah, when you put your whole hand on a dude's face, that's probably about. I'm like, oh man, he really mushed him like that. Like that's what my reaction was. Like he mushed him, and Moose wasn't having none of that. That's a dude. I mean, they were going at it a couple plays before then. Like it was building up to that, and then yeah, the hand to the face obviously was a thing that Musa Diabate took a big exception to. Had to be restrained, didn't hold him back enough before he was able to get a couple good swings off. Luckily, didn't connect because if, like Miles, you were saying, yeah, it didn't look great, especially when Miles Bridges first re-instigated, and then that's what re-instigated Beef Stew to come off the sideline. So, I was listening to the Hoop Collective. They were talking about how most of these guys have previous history with the league, either on or off the court. Not Duren and Diabate, but Bridges and Stewart. So that's why they got the heftier fines. And, you know, when you continue to make those mistakes or decisions, however you want to look at it, you're going to continue to lose money and have a reputation that is not beneficial to you or your team. So that's just what the deal is at the end of the day, and they got to decide whether or not they're going to change it. So,
yeah, Ben, I think that's there are a lot of things to take away from this, but a big picture thing to look at is the fact that, Detroit basketball has had this persona. Anytime they've been relevant, this is the type of persona they get about, being the tough guys, the bad boys out there. Do you think that could affect them in a negative way when we get to the playoffs?
I mean, I think they should be, bad and tough with their play, being physical on the court. But, you know, the playoffs, I mean, you really got to hope none of your guys get suspended like this. Like, you know, play with that tough physicality, but you got to watch it still because playoffs, you know, then it's really going to matter. Someone gets suspended over like a fight or something in the playoffs. I mean, that could be cost them potentially series, you know, especially if it was like, you know, second round or conference championship they made playing against like, you know, the Knicks or the Cavs or the Pistons. But yeah, and Pistons just keep doing Detroit basketball stuff like that. And it's funny, I've never mentioned this on the podcast before, but when Isaiah Stewart was a rookie, I met him at the All Star event that they had downtown
Really?
Cleveland somehow. I, yeah, I met him. We got a picture of him. You know, he's good, nice to be in all the fans and stuff. When he's on that court, he's crazy. As we saw, I saw one
See
game
what
and
he would have
with
done.
what he's done to LeBron James like multiple years back. Like, yeah, he doesn't play around, but I mean, he was trying to back his guy Jalen Duren, which I could get, but man, he went crazy with it with the fight, and well, the NBA's just got to do what they got to do. I mean, spend him and guys and get the fines, and well, we'll see if it really changes anything for them.
Was he a part of the Rising Stars that year in 2022
Yeah,
when the
and that's
All Star
why he
Weekend
was
was in?
there. Yeah.
What? He's not going to be in anything else.
Well, I don't know, skills comp.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a team beef, because they
Yeah,
got some weird teams this year.
They have an underground all-star fight club that he's just the head of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
We
But
got Team
no,
Cameron.
yeah, we will get to that. But last thing I'll say on the fight. I mean, I think obviously the Pistons, them having this persona is huge and it's big for them and it gives them an edge over a lot of different teams in the league, especially in games that matter the most. But when you get into a tough playoff, series against those, teams like a New York Knicks or a Cavalier team or the Celtics or even like the Sixers, like in any playoff series, teams can look at that and use that to try to bait Isaiah Stewart into things like that. Every one of those teams has like an instigator that can do that. When you look at like a Jose Alvarado, a Dennis Schroeder, Joel Embiid, like all these teams have players that can get under your skin. And dude, if there was a 7-game suspension in a playoff run or a playoff series, that would completely change everything. And in a wide open East, like if that were to happen to the Pistons, you could make a case that could ruin their chances of winning a title or coming out of the East. So they, I agree with Ben. Keep this, persona up, but be smart about it and be careful because it could definitely come back to bite them if things stay like this.
Yeah, very much a hit or miss. It could either work for them because the only times the Pistons have won championships is when, with their toughness, has taken out the other team and really rattled them because they couldn't handle the toughness. Let's just hope they can try to do that again, or will they get rattled because they're too tough?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, in this stretch coming out of the All-Star break, a stretch where this is a crazy stretch of games. New York, Chicago, San Antonio, OKC, Cleveland, Orlando, Cleveland again. And actually, he should be back for the second. His first game back will be for that first Cleveland game. But anyways, you're missing a key part of your team defensively for a brutal stretch where you're going to be able to really test yourself against some of the top teams in the Western Conference and then the Cavs and the Knicks in the East to really show like, hey, we can really hang with these guys post All-Star break. And he's not available. So, that's a situation where obviously you're there and you're fighting for your brother, but did you really win? No, because you're missing key games. So, that's definitely something to watch going forward. But let's talk about All-Star Weekend because, again, it does start here tonight with the Rising Stars Challenge here. We're once again going back to this bracket sort of style here, where we have Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and Austin Rivers as honorary head coaches for all of these teams.
One of these guys just doesn't belong.
Yeah.
I don't know how he made it, but
Well, Austin Rivers is there because he gets to just do these G League guys.
he's a G leaguer himself. That's what he gets.
Right. But we have our three teams. I'll read through them here quickly, and then we can talk about who we think is going to win the Rising Stars Challenge here. So, Team Mellow is Reed Shepard, Stefan Castle, Dylan Harper, Jeremiah Fears, Donovan Klingon, Colin Murray Boyles, Ace Bailey, who replaces Cooper Flagg, who is going to miss the Rising Stars game, unfortunately. So that is Team Mellow. Team T-Mac, Con Knipple, Kalel Ware, Trey Johnson, Jalen Tyson, Zachary Resache, Cam Spencer, and Bub Carrington. Resache and Carrington replace Alex Sarr and AJ Mitchell, who were injured. And then Team Vince, the only one that's fully healthy going into this is VJ Edgecombe, Derek Queen, Keyshawn George, Matas Buzelis, Yegor Gioman, Cedric Coward, and Jalen Wells. So out of those three teams, who do we think is going to pull out of this one? If I'm not mistaken, it's going to start out. The first game is at 9 p.m. tonight. It's going to be Austin Rivers' team, which is the G League guys, which includes Ron Harper Jr., Yannick Conan Niedenhauser, Yang Hansen will get to play.
Mac McClung.
Yeah. I think he's now injured, so I think he's now unfortunately going to miss.
Wow.
But it's going to but the first game is going to be Team Austin versus Team Mello, then Team Vince versus Team T-Mac. Then those two teams will play in the championship matchup. So Team Mello should automatically have a bye to make it in the championship game. But overall, who do you guys think will pull this out? Nick, let's start off with you.
Yeah, I like Team Vince over Team T-Mac. Both got super talented dudes on their squads, like Khan and Sar and Kalel Ware for Team T-Mac plus Tyson. Like it's solid, it's really good. But Buzelis is on Team Vince, and that's going to be tough to stop because that dude's he's the best player I think we've mentioned. He's pretty bona fide among these dudes. Who else compares with Matas Buzelis on this list? Steph Castle,
Con
Knipple, yeah. I mean, those are probably the three best dudes, and they're all on separate teams. I think Buzelis is I don't know. Yeah, Con Knipple, yeah, he's pretty good. Buzelis and Edgecombe, though, is solid. So I think those two are going to lead Team Vince. Okay, so I think I would pick Team Vince over Team, Mello in the finals.
Okay. Interesting. All right, Joey, what do you think?
Team Mello by 1,000 over every other team. They just up and down because they're going to have to play everybody. They just have up and down just the way better players, even without Cooper Flagg. Even when they had Cooper Flagg before they announced that he was injured, that team was, I feel like, were heavy favorites. Now it feels a little more even, but I still think Team Mello is just up and down the best.
Okay, Ben, your thoughts?
I agree with Joey. I think Team Mello, with the names you're saying for the different teams, Miles seems to have the most complete team to me. And just, I guess, the best overall team talent wise. I like, how they got some good tall guys that play some good defense. When you get Stefan Castle is a great, ball handler, to lead them offensively, and the good shooters there. And yeah, well, they should be able to beat the G League. That'll really help them. But just only one tough game, but I think they got the best team, so I'm going with them.
Well, so
it's hard not to. It's hard not to pick against Team Mello here. And I think the thing that is key for them, of course, they have the guards that can, play defense, but they have two bigs on their team, which no pun intended, very big for this Rising Stars Challenge. Because when you look at Team Vince, they only have Derek Queen as their center. Team T-Mac has Kalel Ware. Team Mello has Donovan Clingan and Colin Murray Boyles, who is a smaller guy, but he's been playing the 5 all year. So they have big guys, and that'll be key. That I'm excited for that matchup against the G Leaguers because they have both Niederhauser and Yang Hansen. I'll tell you what, if Team Austin was playing against like Team Vince, who's like a smaller team, I think Team Vince would win. But I think having the two bigs, they might have had a chance in that matchup. I'm not gonna lie.
Yang Hansen is
Cedric Howard's not small, and neither is Yegor. Like those dudes are both over 6'6". Bezelis is almost 7 feet.
But they're not like centers or anything.
Sure,
like that.
sure,
They're not 7 foot.
sure.
They're not Yang Hansen.
So we have 1 Team Vince, 3 Team Mello.
Like
Yeah, I'll
Team
go
Vince.
Team Mello, but I'm rooting for Team T-Mac because Jalen Tyson, baby, wanna
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
and I really like Con Knipple, so I
Yeah.
But that should be fun. Rising Star is always, it's hit or miss, but I feel like it's always you feel good about it as like a good starter for the weekend. For All-Star Saturday night with the 3 events, the 3-point contest, the slam dunk contest, and Shooting Stars, which is back after an 11-year absence. We'll go in order of the order of these events. Let's start off with the 3-point contest, which what the heck? Why is this first? I hate that this is first. This is now, to me, this is the marquee event now of the night because
This
of
is
just
the
how
best
far down
event,
the
yeah.
dunk contest has gone.
The dunk contest is terrible. They only got 4 guys this year. And they're all people that we really don't care about.
Yeah, but anyways, the 3-point contest, the State Farm 3-point contest, are 8 competitors, and we got an interesting bunch here. We have 5 current All-Stars. We'll go through here. We have Devin Booker, Con Knipple, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, Norman Powell, Bobby Portis, and Damian Lillard.
What?
Yes, Damian Lillard, despite not having played a game all season long, is participating in the 3-point contest. Now, I believe he's a 2-time winner of this event. He's going to go for his record-breaking 3rd one. But this just, I don't know. Before we even get into our predictions, do you guys feel kind of weird about the fact that he's in this contest?
I don't think he has a very good chance of winning, but I do think it's awesome that he's going out there. And everybody's pulling for him. Like, everybody wants him to get his 3rd.
I think
with a torn Achilles.
I think he's the favorite because he's in it. Torn Achilles, like I don't care. He's been torn Achilles. He's been shooting like the entire season.
I think
like it's a run up and down to do this thing.
I think everybody's looking at this the wrong way. That there's not a great chance that he's able to go out there and make it. I mean, he'll probably compete, and I just don't think he's gonna win.
Okay.
I tend to agree.
How do you guys feel about the field of players that we have here? I mean, it's a lot of current All-Stars. Bobby Portis is like the one like real role player guy, but he's been one of the best 3-point shooters in the league all season long, so it kind of makes sense there. He's been top 5 all season long. This is one of those things where like it's the opposite of the dunk contest for me. Like the dunk contest is where you want to see your star players, but for the 3-point contest, I want my role player sharpshooters to get in there and have their time. Like I want Sam Merrill in this thing. I want AJ Green. I want Cam Spencer in this thing. I don't care about Devin Booker in it for the 3rd, 4th time. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel about it.
I completely agree.
I agree.
I would rather see like Sam Hauser, like you said, Cam Spencer, Sam Merrill, Jalen Tyson. Those guys. I'd rather see all the guys that are pure just shooters. Just shooters. I don't know. And this should be the primo event, especially if you have all these star players in it. Like it just this whole
there are a ton of stars.
So bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I know we're supposed to be hyping it up. It's just so bad.
I mean, you wonder if like maybe it's a new thing with the modern age where like maybe guys like a Sam Merrill or Cam Spencer or like those shooters, maybe they got offered an invitation to go, but then they declined because they want to have the All-Star break as like an actual break to go on vacation and do things. And these guys in the All-Star game or whatever are already there. So it's like, might as well, just have those guys do it. But I have a hard time believing that all of the sharpshooting, like prototypical sharpshooting role players, said no to this.
They would have said yes in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
Like,
Well, I'm sure they asked the stars first because they know that people think the NBA All Star Weekend should be twilighted and it's falling out of vogue, and they want more people to watch. So Devin Booker and Damian Lillard and Tyrese Maxey and Donovan Mitchell will get probably more people to watch than Sam Merrill and AJ Green and insert player Sam Hauser.
Yeah, I guess so. Even with all that said, this is still a solid field. All these guys can shoot the ball. All these, they are, known to be great 3-point shooters throughout their career, having good 3-point shooting seasons. Besides Damian Lillard, who hasn't made one all season but is still in the contest.
Hold on a minute,
Yeah,
because I actually think that the only role player on this list is going to win. Do you guys know who I think? Well,
Bobby Portis.
I guess there's Bobby Portis. Other than Bobby Portis, it's the only role player.
Do you consider Con Knipple the role player?
No. You guys know my feeling on Norm Powell.
Oh,
right.
Stop it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, stop it. He is an all-star.
So I got I think anybody can win this. Like, it is a lot of stars. I think anybody can win it. I would not want to bet on a single guy to win it, but I would take Norm versus Maxey, as those two are my favorites, and I would take Norm because he's the exact thing that you guys are talking about. He just does it because you can take 15 threes a game now in an NBA game, and it's considered good shot quality. And so that's why he's an all-star and LaMelo isn't. But he's literally the guy that you're talking about. He's Sam Merrill. He's AJ Green. He's that guy.
Okay, not to get back on this, but I would very safely assume that LaMelo takes more threes than Norman Powell, and it's probably not even close.
I'm not saying that. I didn't make my point clear, I guess.
Well, no, because you're saying, a guy can take, 15 threes or whatever, and it'd be a good shot, but LaMelo takes 10 a game, and Powell takes like 6 or 7 a game. So what's really the deal here?
Well, I'm saying they're probably better shooter than LaMelo. Or Norm's probably better shooter than LaMelo.
Yes, I'd agree. So I guess that's a great way to predict this. So if the way that it normally is the top 3 scores in the first round advance to the championship round. So Nick, you have Powell over Maxey. Who else do you think will make the final 3?
I love Jamal Murray on this list when I saw him, but I think Con Knipple is probably the third best shooter, so I'll take Con.
Okay, Ben, what do you think about this one?
Well, the 3-point contest can be one of the trickier ones. All good shooters in here, but I'm just gonna go who I think, and I think Jamal Murray can make that final 3. I got a feeling he's somehow gonna get on fire in this and have fire to try and win it. And go. Man, Dame's an interesting one. I know he hasn't played it all, but you just never know. He's won it before. I guess he's been able to do some shoot around with the injury.
That's all he's doing.
Dame's in the top 3. And I'll go with I'll go with Tyrese Maxey, also my top 3. I don't know. That's just my feeling now, but maybe Con could. He's been shooting it well as a rookie. You just never know.
Yeah, that is the beauty of this contest, Joey, is that it's just you with the basketball. How many shots can you make? And that's the beauty, and that's how it's so unpredictable.
I love it. I have my top 3 would probably be. I'm with Ben. I think Jamal Murray kind of actually wins this whole thing. It's his first time being an all-star, he's going to take this whole weekend by storm. I feel like he's going to just enjoy the heck out of it. I like him to win the whole thing, but I think also in the championship will be Knipple and our homeboy Donovan Mitchell, our dude from the CLE. He's got a rep. He's gonna wear a Money Merrill jersey out there when he's performing.
It'd be hard.
Challenge it. He's gonna channel.
That would be hard.
Inner Sam Merrill and just shoot lights out.
He did say that he is going to do it again. He did it in like the Indiana All-Star game, and he didn't really do that great. He's been in this like a lot, like 2 or 3 other times, but doesn't really perform that well. I think he's going to put on a nice show in this one. Well, I think he will be in the top 3. I'm going to go with Knipple to win this thing as a rookie. I think that he is going to pull this off. I went and looked at the odds. I'm surprised to see that he's actually the favorite to win this thing.
If you bet on this, you're an idiot.
Yeah. I tend to agree.
According to DraftKings, it says that it's Knipple, Dame, and Jamal is the top 3. Then Maxey, Mitchell, Booker, Norm, and then no love for the big man Bobby Portis.
Norm's that dark horse. Norm is a good bet. If you bet on Norm Powell, I'll say that's a good bet.
Dude, Norm is a good bet. I'm also trying to think of how these guys shoot the ball and if that's translatable to like taking it off the rack and then shooting.
It's different.
Because it's different. That's why I think Knipple will be great at this. Donovan, I think, has had some practice doing it, so I think that he will be solid. And dude, I'm sorry, it's hard to bet against Damian Lillard in any sort of shooting contest. So I'm gonna go with him. Because again, injured the whole season, all he's doing is just shooting. Like, and he's done this before. He knows how to do this. So I think he'll, do well there. But very excited for the 3-point contest. Next event is Shooting Stars, which just came out of nowhere that it's coming back. This is the event that Chris Bosh would always win by knocking down the half-court shots. He would have dominated this so much that they had to remove the event. That's how bad he dominated it. But it is back. It's a timed shooting challenge where it's teams of 3. Normally, I guess now it's 2 current players and a legend on all these teams in order to, make this work. Let's see here. So I believe the way it works is there are a bunch of different spots on the court that you have to make a shot from. And whoever can do it the fastest wins the round. So our 4 teams, gosh, this is so weird. So Team All-Star is Scotty Barnes, Chet Holmgren, and the legend is Rip Hamilton. Team Knicks, we got Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and Allen Houston. Knicks' favorite team, Team Cameron, is Jalen Johnson, Knipple, and Corey Maggette. Man, Knipple's having a busy weekend out in L.A. And then
dunk contest.
Yeah, right. And then Team Harper with Dylan Harper, Ron Harper Jr., and Ron Harper Sr. So those are the 4 teams for this thing. This one might be harder to predict. I have no idea.
I would have to go with the father-son trio. I mean, that's got to be the favorite.
I'm a big fan of Ron Harper. He went to Miami. My dad has chatted him up a couple times apparently after golfing and in Vegas. So I'm gonna go with the former Red Hawk and Ron Harper.
I got one more thing to add before. Hold on, because the favorite should be whoever goes last. Because like you said, it's a shooting challenge, and the first team goes and they hit all the shots in say 24 seconds, miss 1 or 2 at each spot or something like that, and you're like, dang, that's a pretty good score. And then the next team makes every single one, does it in 16, and then you're like, oh man, well, how do we beat that? So that's kind of how I remember it going, at least.
Yeah, that could definitely make sense. I'm looking back, by the way, at like the year-by-year winners, and this is crazy. The last 3 years, Chris Bosh, Dominique Wilkins, and Swin Cash won each of the last 3 years they did this.
They should be a team then.
Dude, that'd be awesome. They bring them all back for this one. Man, now this is the one where I'm like, there's no way anyone should be betting on this. This one,
right?
Yes,
right.
Makes no sense. Let's see, man. I am gonna go with Team Knicks on this one because I think course, Team Knicks, they have the chemistry, and I think that they have overall the best shooting trio of any of the other teams here. So I'm going to go with Team Knicks. Ben, how about you?
I also am gonna go with Team Knicks because, man, I just know Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony Towns, and I'm like, man, I think they can be really good at this contest of how good they are right now and stuff. They're overall great shooters, and Allen Houston, when he played during his days, was a great shooter himself. I think he can still have some of it in him, so I'll go with them, but who knows? Tough contest to predict here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it back, though. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then last but certainly least for Saturday night is the slam dunk contest with Carter Bryant, Jackson Hayes, Keshad Johnson, and Jace Richardson.
Who's actually going to watch this, guys? Come on.
You never, I mean, who knows, though? Like, who knows? These guys are in this, like, who knows what we could get? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
4 guys? They can only get 4 people.
That's
they're
normally how it
bench
is.
warmer?
That's
Usually-
how it's been the last like 5 or so years.
Oh man, I remember. I miss the kind of days where it was like minimum 5 people. Like sometimes you'd have like 5 or 6. I feel
Yeah,
like.
I want to say this is about been the norm for. Yeah, they've gone down to 4 people since 2015 when they returned back after the team dunking.
Oh my gosh, that was awful. I remember that.
So,
Oh,
but yeah, so these are the 4 guys. Yeah, I mean, this is just such a tough thing. Obviously, it gets worse every year. Of course, no Mac McClung in this one. Just because we've seen all the dunks that actually, this is something that is it's hard to create new things, but we'll see if anything does get created in this one. Who do we think will pull out the slam dunk contest?
I'm gonna go with Keshad. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, that Keyshawn Johnson guy, the Spurs, you never know with him. I haven't really seen him play before. Maybe like the next
He's at Miami.
or something with this. But I'm gonna give Jace Richardson for winning this contest. I have a feeling he could come out and show off some pretty impressive dunks. He's got some pretty good athleticism. I don't know. I feel like he could have some good stuff in him. That's just what I'm thinking based on what I know, but we haven't seen any of these guys do it. You never know.
Yeah, Nick.
Going with the national title NCAA national title runner-up, Keshad Johnson, San Diego State legend. I think they lost. I can't remember if they won or lost. I don't know. I know he played in the biggest game in the college stage, and he was one of their best players. He had like 34 points in a couple March Madness games and stuff, and so I'm going with him.
I was thinking of Jace Richardson, but I really only want to see Jason Richardson in the dunk contest. So, unfortunately, he is not him. But I'll probably go Jackson Hayes, the big guy, just because I saw him do one East Bay in the middle of the game, and that was kind of cool. So, he's the only one I've seen anything like kind of cool from. So.
Hey guys, bold prediction. I think Jace Richardson is going to try and recreate a dunk from Jason Richardson during the All-Star game.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Or the dunk
Yeah, maybe
contest.
that could be the win. Maybe. We'll see.
Winning by nostalgia? Wow.
My dude, that's I'll go Carter Bryant then to be different. We all got someone else. So
All right. We'll see which
see
one
what
of us is right now. Fun.
Yeah. All right. Then the All-Star game on Sunday, the new US versus World format with the 2 US teams and the 1 World team. Let's go through these rosters. The way the US teams, there's the US Stars and the US Stripes, and then there's the World team. I more so like to think of it as the U.S. young guys and the U.S. veterans, because that's pretty much what it is. So the young U.S. team is Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, who is not suspended for the All-Star game. Don't worry about that one. Anthony Edwards, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Johnson, and Tyrese Maxey. The vets team is Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Donovan Mitchell, Norman Powell. And since Steph Curry got hurt, Brandon Ingram made the All-Star game to replace him. Shout out to BI for making his second All-Star game. Definitely well-deserved there. And then the world team is Luka, Denny Avdia, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Alperen Şengün, Pascal Siakam, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Victor Wembanyama. And De'Aaron Fox, who just got added because Giannis is out.
Where's he from?
Hold on. They switched something. Oh, Norman Powell is now on the world team because apparently he's Jamaican. And now De'Aaron Fox is on the vets team. So that is how they made this work.
That's why he's an all-star over LaMelo.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Finally makes sense.
What do we think, guys? I mean, the way that this is going to go is where's the first game? First game is
Team World.
The world. Yeah, the world versus
Team World
US
all the way.
Team World.
Okay, we're going world all the way here.
World. Maybe the young guys, but not the vets.
Team World. Easy.
Yeah, I'm not thinking the vets. I was thinking maybe the young guys, but I'll say like it's like world close over team, American young guys. That's my prediction because I mean, man, it's hard to want to pick against the world guys because I don't think everybody's gonna try the hardest in this game, but the world team is just so good. Wemby, Jokic, Luka. I mean, it's totally gonna be able to stop that. So I'm still,
So, yeah, that's what makes it interesting because yes, the world they have guys on there, like names on there, but Jokic does not try during All-Star games. Luka does not try during All-Star games. Wemby is, so that is going to be a huge factor in this. Wemby is going to try in this one. I think Jamal Murray said before he wants to try super hard as well. But these young guys should be trying, pretty hard too. The vets, I agree. I don't think the vets will really do that well here, especially talked about the whole big thing, like what, lack of bigs for the Rising Stars team. Their biggest player is what, LeBron, Kevin Durant on the vets team. So, I'll take the fact that the young guys have Chet, Jalen Duren, Jalen Johnson, Scott. I mean, they have a pretty big team. So I do agree with you, Ben. I think the two best teams here for the All-Star game is World and the young U.S. guys. I'll go out on a limb and say that the young guys take it. Well, I'll go with an upset. I'll say that the young guys take it.
World.
World. Team World. It was promised to Denny Avdia 3,000 years ago that they would win this
game. He's fulfilling the prophecy.
Okay, Ben, did you officially say you have the world in this?
Yeah, I think world closely over young guys. Okay. That's what I'm thinking, but not a bad prediction with the young guys, Miles.
I'm going to go with those young guys. Those young guys are going to want to make a statement. Yeah. We'll see.
Way to sell it.
Wait, I totally believe you.
Well, I don't know. All this stuff is so like hit or miss, just because it's All-Star. So
I feel most confident, and this is crazy, that Norm Powell is going to win a 3-point contest. That's what I feel most confident about.
That is probably what I vote most confident is.
Norm Powell.
3-point contest, probably. But yeah, man, should be a lot of fun. All-Star weekend in LA in the Intuit Dome this weekend, starting tonight with Rising Stars, all the All-Star Saturday night stuff tomorrow, and then All-Star game on Sunday. Then we have a few days without basketball, so we will be back to pot it up on Tuesday to probably discuss our thoughts on All-Star and then our the big things that we're looking to watch over the final third of the season. So make sure you guys
Yes,
stay
sir.
tuned for that one. But that is all for us here. You guys have anything else before we get out of here?
I don't think so.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.